One of the most surefire ways to prevent or start recovering from burnout is to embrace and practice meaningful rest. It's common sense, I know. However, most people who end up burning out get rest wrong. And I was one of those people, and there's no shame in that. Sleep is the most common passive activity we associate with rest. However, when we reach burnout territory, it usually will mess with our sleep quality. You might find it hard to fall asleep, stay asleep, or even wake up feeling exhausted despite getting enough hours. And if you resonate with this, stress is very likely taking a toll on your well-being, and it's time to make changes. So what are we to do if we need rest to overcome burnout, but we can't sleep well because of burnout? It feels like a vicious cycle. So how do we break from that cycle? Well, we can start by reclaiming our energy by proactively practicing different types of rest. And by the end of this video, you will know 5 types of rest that you can start practicing that will leave you feeling energized and ready to thrive. Hi, I'm Jana Karstens. I'm a certified holistic life and wellness coach, and I specialize in burnout prevention and burnout recovery. I coach ambitious individuals from all walks of life to unapologetically take charge of their well-being so they can thrive, have a greater impact, and lead their lives with ease, confidence, and grace. And if you're serious about leaving burnout behind for good and want to use your burnout experience as a springboard to become the most vibrant, most authentic, and powerful version of yourself, I invite you to check out my masterclass on recovering from burnout using a holistic approach. The link is in the description below. And now let's talk about the types of rest everyone needs to embrace to truly thrive. Do you feel that rest is something that you need to earn? Or do you believe that rest is reward for success? Or do you believe that rest is actually a prerequisite to success? And if you lean towards believing that rest is something to be earned, you might already be feeling the effects of burnout. Maybe you're experiencing lower cognitive performance, mental exhaustion, emotional drain. And to combat the negative effects of chronic stress, it's crucial to start proactively practicing rest as part of your daily routine. Rest is not a reward. It's a prerequisite for success, and it's your birthright to practice it in order to maintain your physical, mental, emotional, and relational well-being. If you're experiencing chronic stress that has built up over so long that you're now in burnout territory, one of the biggest assumptions you likely have is that to achieve deep rest, you need to focus solely on increasing the quality of your sleep. You may be trying to go to bed on time so you can get the recommended amount of sleep. You make sure you don't eat a lot or anything heavy before bedtime. You may be trying out sleep apps, sound machines. You may be even medicating yourself to ensure you fall and stay asleep. Thinking that if you finally achieve sleeping 7 to 9 hours per night, you'll wake up feeling energized, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the day. And of course you would think that. Why wouldn't you expect that? It makes complete sense. Sleep is essential for rejuvenation and for healing, but it's a passive process, which means your body will demand it, just like you need to eat or to breathe. However, prolonged stress leads to a buildup of cortisol in our bodies, which disrupts your natural sleep rhythms. And this excess cortisol keeps your body in a state of hypervigilance, preventing that deep restorative sleep from really happening. And as a result, even when you sleep, it's not as effective because your body isn't able to fully prioritize that rest. So to fully restore and revive ourselves throughout the day, especially after we experience prolonged stress, we need to practice rest holistically and proactively. And holistic rest is mental, it's physical, it's emotional, creative, relational, spiritual. And it's critical to start prioritizing proactive rest as you navigate your way out of burnout. Now I want to share with you a summary of insights that I gathered from this book that I read called Sacred Rest by Saundra Dalton Smith. It's a very rough paraphrase, but it's very potent, and I strongly recommend you pick up a copy if you want to go deeper into the different types of rests. So here we go. The body must rest from movement. The mind must rest from thinking. Emotions need to be released. Senses need to be quieted. The soul rests in the beauty around it. The spirit rests through connection with what's holy. And that pretty much summarizes the different types of rests I'll cover below. So let's start with the first, mental rest. We need mental rest because we experience cognitive fatigue. When I talk to clients who are burnt out, they often experience mental exhaustion, which is caused by too much thinking. We're cognitively overloaded with problems to solve, constant inner dialogue, what-if scenarios, worry, overthinking. It can really get overwhelming pretty quick. But most of you will counter that mental fatigue with mindless scrolling, binge watching, or taking medication. Some of my clients lock themselves up in their bedroom and drink a bottle of wine. Some escape into the bathroom for hours to relax. It's very normal and very common to go for the quick fixes when we're mentally exhausted, but those momentarily fixes don't fully rejuvenate our minds. They distract us and may lead to more harm down the road. So how do you practice mental rest? First, by letting your mind dream. Many of us shame ourselves for losing focus, but it's okay to let your mind wander sometimes without any judgment. So many of us are just scared to let go out of this fear of losing control, or our minds are just so wired to loop in negativity that it's hard to even turn off for a minute. And it's okay to not focus on the stuff all the time. Second, create a mental sanctuary, a place within where you can retreat and rest, whether it's through prayer, worship, music, or using a guided meditation. Apps like SoulSpace, Headspace, Calm offer great options for guided visualizations that can help you cultivate these inner spaces. Mental rest is essential during the day, especially after prolonged stress, and it's a proactive way to give your mind a break. So next time your mind wanders, just take it as a hint that you may need a mental break. And what would it look like for you to actually take it? The second type of rest is emotional rest. Many of my clients, and I was there myself at one point as well, experience emotional fatigue from repressing, suppressing, avoiding, and just pushing through feelings we don't want to face. And over time, that leads to emotional drain. How many of you can relate to that? We need emotional rest by letting our emotions flow to fully restore. And it makes sense why we avoid facing difficult emotions. Most of us are shamed into avoiding our feelings from an early age. Don't cry. Why are you so sensitive? You have to be tough. But when we repress our emotions, we exhaust our energy because it takes energy to keep the lid from flying off the pressure cooker. Can you relate to just losing it eventually? Yeah. We wear masks and strive to feel good, motivated, happy, and energized because that's what's accepted and expected and safe, and it takes energy to hide. So repressing emotions takes a lot of energy, and eventually it leads to burnout. So how do we practice emotional rest? Emotions are like water. They're meant to flow, so they can inform us of what's authentic to us. And just like water, if it doesn't move, it can get bigger and become stale or toxic. Emotions that do not flow freely, that aren't acknowledged or accepted, they can grow bigger over time and it can feel like we're drowning in them. And without flow, they can get toxic, impacting our health in unexplained ways. So allowing our emotions to flow, no matter how uncomfortable, is crucial for practicing emotional rest. And a couple of things to try is to label your emotions to yourself. Using an emotion wheel is a great tool to put language to what you're feeling. They don't have to be expressed to anyone if you aren't comfortable or don't want to, but to yourself is enough. Journaling is another excellent way to process emotions. So practicing acceptance, acknowledgement, and compassion for yourself are surefire ways to start that flow. So what's one way that you will start practicing emotional rest? And what do you think, what impact might that have on your well-being? If you resonate with what I've shared so far, I invite you to sign up for my free masterclass where you will learn how to break through burnout and thrive using a holistic body, mind, and heart approach. Embracing meaningful rest is part of the journey. So to find out what else to pay attention to in order to leave burnout behind for good, go ahead and sign up. Third type of rest is relational rest. Do your interactions with other people in your life empower you, or are they draining? How does it feel to be around negative people? A bit draining, right? How does it feel to be around people who are positive, kind, grounded? Our energy is impacted by the quality of the relationships that we have in our lives. We're wired for connection with other people, so we may stick around even if those aren't healthy for us. We all have experienced stress related to strained relationships, whether personal or professional. And some people are not fazed by them, and others, most people actually, toxic relationships are a huge contributor to eventual burnout. Just like our bodies need food, water, and sleep, our souls need connection. So to practice relational rest, it's important to surround yourselves with people who energize and revitalize you. To practice relational rest first, we need to guard ourselves from toxic relational influences. Whether you're in a toxic workplace or have a toxic personal relationship, learning to set boundaries and to express your needs are critical to preventing and recovering from relational burnout. Second, it's critical that you surround yourself with those who energize and have a positive impact on you. We're designed to have a handful of people whom we can turn to for guidance, encouragement, and be vulnerable with. And it can be a friend, family member, a coach, a therapist, someone who will accept and see you for who you are as you are. Healthy relationships are restorative, so practicing relational rest is another way to beat and break through burnout. So what are the types of relationships in your life that you're currently maybe draining you? How can you protect yourself from their influence? And who are some people or groups you can turn to that are restorative? Fourth, we have creative rest. When was the last time you remember just letting your creativity flow? Even if you are in a creative profession like being a designer with an agency or a tech company, it's probably been some time since you got to be in the flow and experience the joy of really practicing your craft. Our soul rests both in creating art and absorbing art. So expressing yourself creatively releases pent-up energy and is deeply cleansing. So paint, write, dance, visit a museum, just immerse yourself in creative activities. It's very cleansing and it releases a lot of pent-up energy. I believe that in order to avoid burnout and to ultimately thrive, we need to master both the go mode and the flow mode. And the go mode is the action part, the thinking, the planning, the doing. And the flow mode is reveling in our imagination, creating, receiving, just being. So practicing creative rest is a powerful way to give our minds a break. What was a creative activity that you were indulging in when you were growing up? How did it feel? What would it look like for you to take that up again? The fifth is sensory rest. So we experience life through our senses. Now imagine the taste and smell of a nutritious meal. Imagine the sight of your favorite person or the sunrise. Imagine the smell of a flower or your favorite perfume. Now imagine touching a silky pillow or smooth texture. We get bombarded through our senses: traffic noise, people talking, loud noises, strong smells, screens and more screens. We can experience sensory overload, and that's especially true for HSPs or highly sensitive people. So practicing sensory rest can either be done by either intentionally unplugging or intentionally immersing yourself using your senses, like playing with naturally soothing scents, burning a candle, smelling essential oils, listening to soothing music or nature sounds, using your sense of touch to explore a soothing texture like fur of a pet or fabric of your clothes. So you can start recovering from burnout and preventing burnout by intentionally directing your senses to something that's calming. And here's a bonus type of rest, which is spiritual rest. If you're someone practicing any sort of spirituality and believe in a higher power, you probably already know how powerful the experience is in having a connection with the divine. We receive guidance, healing, peace, and a framework through which we can view challenges in life. And studies have actually shown that prayer and meditation impact our brains in the same way as having a conversation with another person. So that suggests that spiritual activities such as prayer, worship, or meditation can create neurologically real experiences within us. So any conversations you have with God, for example, can imprint onto you as if you are having a conversation with a person in the physical world. So those were the 6 ways to practice meaningful rest in order for you to regenerate and restore your energy in a holistic way so you can break through burnout and thrive. You can embrace mental rest, emotional rest, creative rest, relational rest, and spiritual rest. So that's the end for now. I'm Jana Karstens, and for those of you who like this video and the info that I shared and would like to deepen your practice of meaningful rest, you will love the masterclass that I put together using a holistic approach to prevent burnout and recover from burnout. See the link below to sign up and view it for yourself. And thanks again for watching, and see you next time.